Hey, how are you? Going live. I want to know if how long have you been carrying this pain? Have you been carrying it for months? You're not new to grief, but you've actually done what have you actually done with this pain? What have you actually done with the grief pain? I've not been asking you, even though I have, I ask you all the time, have you cried? I ask you, have you faced it? I asked you, have you felt it? Do you move through it? Are you understanding how to move through it? Because this is a form of limbo that you're in. It isn't healing when you're sitting in the limbo. When you're waiting for the grief to move, it is not healing. You can't wait for peace. You cannot wait for peace to come. Sitting around and waiting for this grief to change is not one of the things. I came on here earlier and I was talking about this. We can't just sit around and wait thinking that the grief is going to change because it won't. I guarantee you it will not. You've made it past the first storm. You might still be in the first storm. You've made it past the first month. The immediate after you were cracked open, you've made it past that. Your world 100% split in half. Everything familiar to you seems like it's disappeared. And somehow you've made it through that and you're here. You've made it through that part and you're here. You got out of bed today. I hope you did. And if you didn't, I'm absolutely okay with that. Grievers have choices, and not getting out of bed is one of those choices. For the most part, you've remembered to eat a little bit each day. You show up in life in the parts that you absolutely have to. There are parts of your life that you're absolutely not showing up to right now. And I get that. I absolutely get that. You've shown up to life, at least in ways that people have expected you, and even with a broken heart. From the outside, you might even look like you're managing this grief. You might even look like you got it together. And that's why they're coming up to you saying, wow, I can't get over how great you're doing. Wow, I can't get over how you're doing. But inside, it's different. I would imagine for most of you, you're not new to grief anymore. I would imagine for most of you, you've learned how to swim in it. You've learned how to make it through a little bit. The sharpness of grief may have dulled a little bit. The weight may have lifted a little bit. It is like carrying something invisible every single day, a heavy weight that is so invisible no one sees you. It feels like it's pulling you down every single day. And you're hoping that eventually it will drop off your shoulders and just leave you alone. But that's not happening. It's not happening. And let me just tell you the truth right now. It's not. The invisible weight that is holding you down is not just going to fall off. The ache that you're still waking up to every single day is not just going to fall off. The exhaustion is not going anywhere. The fog may lift. The brain fog may lift a little bit, but there will be some days where it absolutely comes back worse than it was before. For the most part, if you are in active grief, there is probably a low-grade sadness that never really lets up. There's this level of low-grade grief exhaustion just always seems to be there. This part of grief that's unprocessed. And if no one has told you this yet, I want you to hear it from me. Surviving in this grief and allowing this low-grade exhaustion to just be there is not healing. Just walking around in this low-grade exhaustion, just be like, well, this is how it is today. This is how it feels, is not healing. Getting through the day, going to work, remembering their birthday, having a few laughs here and there, that's not survival. I'm sorry, that's not healing, that's survival. Pretending like you're okay, that's just survival. Being at work and pretending like you're laughing, that's barely survival. Because you come home every day and you get into bed and you pull the covers over your head. And on Saturday and Sunday, you don't leave your house. You're turning down every invitation that you've been offered. You're not going to the parties. It's just survival. It's not healing. And if you've been in this for 6 months or more, and you're still at this same emotional cycle, I promise you it's not because you're not trying hard enough. I promise you that. I see you. I know that you're trying really hard. I know that you're trying to move this grief. I know that you're trying as hard as you can to move this grief. It's because just trying to move the grief is not enough. It's not the actual work. Just trying to move the grief is not the actual work. The actual work comes when you look in your heart. Grief doesn't ease up just because time passes. And I don't care what anyone has told you out there. I don't care what they've told you. Healing isn't passive. Grief healing is not passive. Hey, Debbie. Grief healing is not passive. I know you're being told, well, maybe you haven't cried enough. Maybe you haven't gotten it all out. There's not a certain amount of cries that we're going to do. You're not going to do a certain amount of cries and then be done. That's not the way this goes, my friends. You're going to long for them. You're going to want them. You're going to have really bad days. You have to do something with this pain. The number one first thing you have to do with this pain is you got to feel it. If you cannot feel it, if it feels too heavy and you're like, I don't know what this is, then name it. Sadness, broken, disbelief, guilt, regret. A lot of you come in here with guilt, or you think it's guilt, and I can help you with that. Bella Red, if you name the emotion first, grab that emotion and just sit in it for 1 minute, it'll pass through you. But that's not what we do. The emotion comes and we change the subject. The brokenness comes in our heart and we change the subject. What do I mean? Let me show you. Your heart starts to feel the pain. It feels this pain. You were walking down the street. You were driving down the street. You were daydreaming and you had a memory in your brain. And it 100% feels this pain. But you and I all know you're going to change the subject. You're going to grab your phone and you're going to scroll on TikTok. You're going to turn the TV on and you're going to watch the nightly news. You're going to grab a glass of wine or you're going to go to sleep. You're going to eat something. Or you're going to go shopping. That's how we change the subject. We don't deal with this. This hurts too much. We try to find other ways. So we change the subject. We know we have to do something about the pain, but we're just not sure what to do. I can't flip it. I don't know how to flip it on this phone, and you guys can't hear me on the other phone. Flip it. On this phone, it's not an option. Hold on. It's so weird. Why would it not be an option? It says host. On the 15, it's an option. On this phone, it's not an option. Maybe it's something I need to set up. I don't know, love. I don't know. I'm going to try not to write words. You have to do, I think the other phone is not working because I've dropped it too much. You have to do something with the pain. If you're going to do one of these, before you do any of these, here's my advice. Name this. See if you can stay in it for 90 seconds. See if you can just, before you grab the phone, before you do anything, just see if you can hold it for 90 seconds. And the number one way to hold it is to name it. You pull it out. You pull it out from the place where you buried it. You have to sit with the parts of it that still feel unbearable. But for most of us, we never do that. We don't do that because we're waiting for it to move. We've been told to just give it time. There's a lot of people that have gone past the beginning part of the storm. Hey, Doreen, they've gone past the beginning part of the storm. They've done the funeral. They've gone back to work. They're making it through the day-to-day. They're actually in the middle part of the storm, the grief storm. There's not so much chaos from everywhere, but they're not free either. They're not free of the pain either. Man, I thought you signed up for it. And you didn't get a link? Did you get an email? Bellarette, look in your junk mail. But I'll make sure you get the videos of the training at least. And I'm going to see if you get Paula said she didn't get it till last night. I'm going to check with Brittany right now. Have Brittany check it. They never got it. Okay. Most people are hanging out in the middle of their grief. So they've gone through the first part of the storm, and now we're right here. They're not really sure how to move past the middle. Thank you, Paula. You're not really having chaos anymore, but you're not really free. What has happened here, when you're at this part right here, you are in the middle, and you've learned how to manage your grief. You're not actually healing it, but you've learned how to manage it up until this point. I'm going to make it up to you guys. I promise. My issue is, I think, naming it and giving it language. Absolutely. Giving it voice. I've been scrolling so much more. You're avoiding the pain. You're definitely avoiding the grief. We've learned how to manage it to this point. We are distracting ourselves unbearably. We spiritualize it. We make it feel like it's a spiritual experience and we spiritualize it. Suzanne sent you a DM. Thank you, Suzanne. They rationalize it. We rationalize it to make it okay. Friends, I'm going to make it up to you. I'll be announcing it this on Saturday morning. We even start saying things like, this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. This is the part of the pain. We get to a point where the pain is not too bad. I can manage it. If I don't think about it, and if I lean to the left, if I keep my head up just a little bit, I can get through the rest of my life like this. We get to a point where we think we can just manage it. I promise you were not meant to stay in this wreckage. You were not. And here's the thing that I know you know it. I know that deep down inside you know it. There's a part of you that this isn't the final chapter. There's a part of you that knows you're supposed to continue doing this work. You're supposed to continue doing your work on your broken heart. Well, I'm going to offer because the dates were wrong, the times were wrong. I'm going to offer an encore for no charge to the emotional reset. I just need to get with Brittany and find the dates. We came out with the wrong time. We came out with the wrong date. I'm going to offer, people aren't getting their emails. We're going to redo it. I'll redo it next week. Just give me a second and I'll get that figured out with Brittany. No charge. And anybody who's attended can reattend. You just don't know how to turn the page yet. That's what we're doing here. That's what I want to help you with. I want to help you learn how to turn the page on your grief. How do you get started? Bella Red, one of the things about naming the emotions is actually knowing what they are. Knowing some names of some of the emotions that you're going to feel. Sad, mad, glad, afraid, embarrassed, frustrated, broken, overwhelmed, confused. Knowing where those fall, knowing what those feel like, that's the part we have to start with. We have to start with those emotions, understanding those emotions. And that's what I was teaching in the emotional reset. There is no way in the world that I am teaching you to just get over it. Should I tell you that I received a free ticket? That's because you're special. Look at you with your free ticket. When I originally did the emotional reset way back when, it was free. So I think some kind of way you signed up for that one. But that's okay. That's okay. That's because I like you. It means picking up the parts that are shattered, bringing them into the light, and asking, what needs to be felt right now? What do I need to face? And then facing the things that need to be faced. And let me be real. None of this is going to happen on accident. Y'all, look at that. Did y'all see that? That was cute. None of this is going to happen by waiting. The grief you're carrying right now is not just there because of what you lost. Hear me out. The grief that you are carrying, oh, Bella Red, she gave me a head, Garland. The grief you're carrying right now is not just there because of what you lost. It's there because you haven't been taught how to feel it. Not really. You know that it feels bad. Like, we can all say grief feels bad. We can all say that, right? But where have we gone down really into the grief. You've probably done a lot of thinking about your grief. You've probably told this story a few times. You maybe have even gone to multiple support groups. I'm in Texas too, Jay. You've probably gone to multiple support groups. You even cried just at the right time. You've cried. You've told your story a few times, but it doesn't seem to be lifting. You're in this thing called stuckness. The fog is still here. Your body is telling you, I haven't been given a chance to release this. This is not working. It is the action steps that we do within time while we're waiting that's going to change this. So I have a question for y'all. What action steps are you doing? Are you telling your story? Are you crying? Are you sitting in your pain? Are you journaling? And if none of that is working right now, and you've been past 6 months, it's now time to get into the work. So what would it look like to actually go into the part that's clinged on to you and is not letting go? It's clinging on to the inside. And when I tell you this is not letting go of your person, it is never letting go of your person, but letting go of the suffering that's built up inside of you, letting go of the suffering that you are tired of carrying, letting go of the suffering that you're tired of carrying all by yourself. When I tell you this, you're going to be shocked. Most people, maybe you're not because maybe you get it. Most people avoid doing their grief work because it sounds terrifying. Because it sounds terrifying. And I get that. I truly get that. But here's what I want you to consider. You're already in pain. You're already in grief pain. You already don't know how to get out of this. Avoiding it hasn't made it disappear. Staying in bed with the covers over your head has not made it disappear. All it's done is delay the healing. All it's done is delay the healing for you. What if, hey, Tony, what if instead of bracing yourself for the next wave, you learn how to move with it? What if instead of bracing yourself for the next wave, for the next grief storm, you learn how to process it? What if that was a thing? Because it is. What if instead of bracing yourself for the next storm, you learn how to help it actually pass through you instead of crashing over you over and over and over again? What if there was a place where you absolutely can learn how to move this grief? Because let's be honest, there are a lot of grief resources out there. There are a lot. And there's some big names out there. And there's some heavy hitters right now. Names that if I say their names, you would absolutely know them. You've probably read their book. You might even be in their grief support group. And they'll give you tips. And they'll give you talks. And they might even give you some inspiration. But here's what they're not going to give you. And here's what I'm going to give you. They're not giving you transformation. You have to do the transformational work to move beyond this pain. Period. What you need is space. You need the space to do the transformational work. You need structure. That's why I named this the grief school, because I literally want you to go back to school. I want you to go back to the beginning of where this first started. I want you to go back to the beginning to where this first started, where they didn't teach you how to do this, where I can teach you at the beginning. You need the structure. You need a guided path. You don't just need to talk about it again and again and again, even though I do believe that is important. I believe talking about it is absolutely important, but you need a structure that is set up for you to guide you through. Not about being confronted. I want to love upon you and sit with you while you're in the deepest pain possible. I want you to come in and tell me, Sharon, this really hurts and I don't know what to do with this. Sharon, this really hurts and I don't know how to move it. I don't want you to feel empty anymore. And I'm sure as hell not going to fix you because I want to tell you, you're not broken. 0599 says it's 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. I miss my mom. I leave work every day and I have to cry. I took care of her every day. My love, my heart to you. Truly, my heart to you. 0599. I can't even imagine what this feels like for you. But I want to say this also to you. You're not just grieving the loss of mom, you're also grieving the caretaking part. That's a huge secondary loss. And I want you to acknowledge that for yourself. I also would like to know what's mom's first name. Tell us her first name here, just so we can give you some love. Just her first name. But we're no longer carrying the pain as our identity. I want to help you so you're no longer carrying this pain as your identity. You're no longer the griever. We are all grievers. Hear me out. We're all grievers. We will all go through grief multiple times throughout our life. But when we are in the active grief, that's what I'm talking about here. So you're no longer in active grief. Mimi, everybody, can we tap the screen for 0599 and Mimi? I want you to be a woman who gets this. I want you to be the woman who has experienced profound loss and reclaimed herself. May I say that again? I no longer want you to be the woman that is carrying this pain as her identity. I don't want you walking into every room as the griever. I want you to be this. I want you to be the woman who has experienced profound loss, whose heart is absolutely broken, who feels like she will never breathe again, but also has reclaimed herself because she's gone after it. I'm not inviting you to something soft and fluffy. That's not it. I'm inviting you into something sacred, something gritty, a gritty space where we get to stop. We start circling around the pain of each one of us and we start facing it. And what I'm talking about is the Forever Changed Grief Weekend. The Forever Changed Grief Weekend, which is coming up on July 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. It's right here in Dallas, Texas. I also have a bonus night, which is the 28th, which we will go Zoom. Yes, Bella Red, you're ready. Go to the link in my bio and click on the link that says Forever Changed and sign up on the wait list. The information will be coming out Monday. There's so many of us that fall into guilt, into blame, into anger. I should have known. Why did this happen? I should have known better. I should have answered the phone. I should have answered the door. I hear you, friends. I truly hear you. I don't want to keep dragging you through the mud. I want you to come in where we're going to love up on you. And me, Sharon Brubaker, grief specialist, Erica Honore, my sister, the mother of Donovan and Austin who died. And we have a school counselor, and her name is Sheila, and she will be there also. You deserve a life where people you love and people who love you are willing to walk through this with you with love. And anytime there's an emotional collapse, we're going to be there for you. You deserve mornings that don't begin with dread. You deserve a nervous system that doesn't fall apart. You deserve a nervous system that doesn't fire off every time there's alarms that goes off, like an alarm that goes off every time you see their photo. That's exactly what happens. You're walking down the hall, you see their photo, and your nervous system sends it off like a nine alarm fire. You deserve more than just this version of you that's just getting by. You are not going to get there by just waiting. I promise you, you're not. You're not going to get there by hoping that next month feels better. Bella Red says, I'm so mad that I'm even a part of widowhood. It's a part of the grief, my love. It is a part of the secondary grief. That upsets me and it makes me feel so lonely. It is 100% a part of your secondary grief. Denise says, the one thing that I don't carry is guilt. I don't either, Denise, and a lot of grievers don't. But a lot of people they take out the word regret and they exchange it for the word guilt, and they're actually doing it wrong. And so when someone tells me they feel guilty, we have to talk it through and work it through where I can help them see that a lot of it is regret. She says, I learned the meaning of guilt from you. Yes, a lot of people. I have never had anger in one of my grieving experiences. Austin, Donovan, my dad, or Sharon, my grandparents, and my aunt. I've never had anger as one of my emotions, but people in my family have. I promise you're not going to get there by reading another social media quote about how grief and love is affecting your heart. You get there by doing something. You get there by doing the thing that you're most fearful of. You get there by walking through the fear, by giving it somewhere to go, somewhere new. If you've been circling healing, this is the moment to step in. The pain won't resolve itself. You can't overthink your way through this. It's like you need a container to dump this grief in. You need some time. You need some tools. You need some instructors. You need a set place away from everybody else. You need people who actually know, who have actually been on the road before you, me. Not just someone who read about it or someone who got trained in it. I've actually been on this path. Erica has also been on this path. And the interesting thing is we bring two totally different aspects to the grief. Why wouldn't we? She's the mother of Donovan and Austin. I'm the aunt of Donovan and Austin. We are both sisters and daughters of Tony. And we both experienced our relationship with our dad separately and differently. I'm scared to do the work. I'll be honest, I failed in school. Girl, I teach at an 8th grade level. I specifically teach at an 8th grade level. You guys, I'm not here. I worked with a psychologist many years ago. He called me up. I met him 5 years prior. I gave him my card. His beautiful wife of 50 years died. He called me up and he was so deep in grief. David, Dr. David. I actually did a podcast with him. You can go see his podcast. Austin Sunshine says, Sharon teaches at a level you will understand, 100%. And when he called me, he was a psychologist, he called me and he's like, I don't even know where I got your card from. It was through God. That's all the thing I can tell you is that I remember Dr. David. I remember meeting him and he shared a story about losing his dog, Daisy. And for the life of me, I don't remember why, but I remembered that story. And as soon as I heard his voice, it was familiar to me. And he said, Sharon, I don't know where I got your card from. Have we ever met? And he started to tell me who he was. And I said, yes, we met at a networking group. You told me about your dog, Daisy, that died. He was so impressed by that. Actually, I was impressed by it. And he said, my wife has passed, and I want to know if you would be willing to help me with this. My 30-minute link doesn't open. Well, it opens in 30 minutes. See, free is not always free, Debbie. Look at that. And so hold on, please. So he was older. He was like 76 years old, somewhere around there. And so I agreed to come to his home. I agreed to come to his home. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at me, little grief specialist, going to meet a psychologist. And this is what I knew. I knew that I was going to start explaining grief to him. And he was going to say, well, you know why that happens. It's because the medulla oblongata is connected to and he was going to start explaining the brain to me. But actually, when I got there, I said to him, I'm a griever and you're a griever. And if we keep it right here and we talk like grievers, I can help you. And that's exactly what happened. And I worked with him on the beautiful loss of his wife. And he's an amazing soul and spirit. Truly love him. I think if you go back to about 5 years ago, you can see a podcast with Dr. David and I. Sharon, this is the same link as the first 2 days of the reset. My 30-minute link doesn't open. This isn't a pass or fail. This is a take the information and process it as you go with the work. I think that is wonderful. It was so wonderful. It was so amazing. He was the one, if you guys ever hear me tell this story, he was the one whose wife, she's a beautiful, beautiful spirit. She put up 3 Christmas trees in the house every year. She put up 3 Christmas trees in the house, and he just couldn't even do it. He's like, I can't do it. And so he went out and bought a little tree, and he put it on in honor of her. And the next year when I came back, he had all of those trees up. How should I know if I should try grief counseling? I think you should try Forever Changed. I think you need to do the action steps. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys about counseling. I have no saying on what you should do. My program is an action-based program. It is designed to deal with grief, period. It's an action-based program. It's pencil to paper. I'm going to show you how to do this thing, pencil to paper. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the pain in your heart. And in 4 short days, I'm going to work on that part of the act of grief. I can't tell you whether grief counseling, going to a therapist is the right thing. I think everybody should do talk therapy 100%. Whether you're doing it in a grief support group, you're doing it with a therapist. But a therapist is not going to do with you what I can do. Because you haven't completed the work, Deborah. Okay, hold on, TikTok. YouTube, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share. Thank you for allowing me to share about the work. Here's the part I want you to remember. Nothing is going to change if you just keep sitting on the couch and waiting for it to move. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to say to you, this is enough. Go do your work. Nobody's going to say that. But I'm here to tell you that there's an absolute way through this grief pain. And it is totally in circling the pain, bringing it to the table, and let's discuss it and move it. Thank you, YouTube. I'll see you on the next video.